He was able to do it because, like financially, I was supporting the idea, and I believed you could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
Right, they don't even understand that you know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make. You know what I'm saying? So you can.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand up and probably the most truthful person.
The situation is escalating. Big Meech has made a strong accusation against 50 Cent, alleging that 50 turned his son, Lil Meech, against him. Speculation suggests that after Big Meech reconnected with Rick Ross following his release, the tension with 50 Cent grew significantly. Initially, Lil Meech remained supportive of 50 Cent, expressing his respect and emphasizing the importance of loyalty. He publicly acknowledged his admiration for 50. However, recent developments show that both Big Meech and Lil Meech are now realigning their loyalties. Reports claim they have openly sided with Rick Ross, which has deeply angered Big Meech. The conflict worsened when 50 Cent publicly criticized Big Meech, accusing him of failing as a parent and having a negative impact on Lil Meech. He condemned Big Meech's reckless actions and irresponsible spending, implying that he was living without, considering the long-term consequences.
No tomorrow.
Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3-4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3, just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. It's the big boy. This is Christine called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
$2 million.
This public attack prompted Big Meech to respond. Now, the Flannery father-son pair is reportedly planning a counter move. Rumors suggest they are collaborating with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather to produce their own version of the BM series.
You know what I'm saying? From the hood to Hollywood that you gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you getting it. You know what I'm saying? See, people never seen how I really put it down because unless you were part of that, I'm not gonna let you see that. Only thing you're gonna see is us enjoying ourselves. That's what you're supposed to see.
Despite the plans in motion, some fans remain doubtful. Many believe that Big Meech and his son might be overestimating the support from their new associates. There's speculation that Ross and Mayweather may not be as committed as they seem, and that Big Meech risks losing everything by trusting them. The pressing questions now are, how exactly does Big Meech plan to counter 50 Cent? And what were 50 Cent's exact remarks about Big Meech's parenting? Let's take a closer look. Big Meech isn't prepared to let 50 Cent damage his reputation without responding. After being publicly accused of setting a poor example for Lil Meech, Big Meech chose to defend himself. As the leader of BM, he's reportedly preparing a significant response and is determined to reshape the narrative. The conflict originally began when 50 Cent distanced himself from Lil Meech and suggested that the BM series might soon end. Unwilling to let the situation escalate without addressing it, Lil Meech directly contacted 50 Cent to clear the air dot in an effort to stay on good terms with 50 Cent. Lil Meech explained that the photo of Big Meech with Rick Ross, which sparked the controversy, was strictly business related. He insisted there were no personal issues involved. Lil Meech messaged 50 saying, F Ross, but he gave my dad some money so he can cover his bills until our next season begins. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. However, 50 Cent was not convinced. He responded curtly, essentially informing Lil Meech that his role on the show was finished. If Big Meech and Lil Meech believe they can challenge 50 Cent, they may be underestimating the situation. 50 Cent continued by mocking Lil Meech, first calling him next season Little Ninja, then adding another jab suggesting that since Lil Meech lost his BM role, his next opportunity might be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. 50 even remarked, I'll give Mona Scott a call for him later today. But this was only the beginning. 50 Cent kept up his criticism, targeting both Big Meech and Rick Ross by bringing up past incidents and questioning their parenting. He referenced old footage of Lil Meech and Ross' daughter, Toy Roberts, from their earlier involvement. Using this as leverage, 50 Cent aimed further criticism at both men. He questioned why Ross never supported the Flannery family while Big Meech was in prison. 50 posted, "Why didn't old boy look out for Meech and send him to acting school?" Big screech, "All your people who were free did nothing for him. You come home thinking you're the Black Pablo Escobar and messed him up, that's cold-blooded." He also emphasized that he was the one who provided financial support to the Flannery family while Big Meech was incarcerated. Adding more pressure, 50 disclosed that Lil Meech had squandered all the earnings from BM. He wrote, "I helped your family make over $5 million alleged dollars. It's not my fault, it's all gone now." The public response was intense. Some criticized 50 Cent for cutting off Lil Meech so quickly after Big Meech's involvement with Rick Ross, while others defended him, arguing that after all he had done for the Flannery family, his reaction was understandable.
That's Lil Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail. He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's up. Now, bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Lil Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
The situation continued to escalate, and 50 Cent showed no intention of stepping back. Meanwhile, several prominent industry figures weighed in on the growing conflict. Among them was Boosie, who strongly criticized how Lil Meech handled the matter with 50 Cent. Boosie disapproved of Lil Meech's respectful tone in his message, especially after 50 Cent had publicly insulted his father. Boosie stated that if he were in Lil Meech's position, he would have responded much more forcefully toward 50 for disrespecting his dad. 50 Cent didn't ignore Boosie's remarks. He responded by asserting that he had done more for Lil Meech than Big Meech ever had. 50 posted a clip from Boosie's interview and captioned it, "I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life." He went on to say that whenever Lil Meech faced legal issues, he was always the first person Lil Meech called, and he had consistently bailed him out. Additionally, 50 revealed that he once paid for Lil Meech to enter rehab after learning that he had been experimenting with gas canisters, which are sometimes misused at parties. In a separate Instagram post, 50 explained the underlying reason for the fallout between him, Big Meech, and Lil Meech, suggesting that jealousy played a major role. Big Meech was reportedly uncomfortable with 50's close relationship with Lil Meech while he was incarcerated. 50 wrote, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with my relationship with Mimi. I'm telling Mimi not to do certain things, and he's hearing from his dad that he used to do those things. Like, it's fine. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. But then his dad talks about how much money he went through. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab." Even actor Russell Hornsby acknowledged that the situation had spiraled, noting that 50 Cent seemed to have substantial evidence backing his claims rather than de-escalating. Big Meech and Lil Meech are pushing forward. They appear to be taking bold steps, possibly to antagonize 50 Cent, openly declaring full support for Rick Ross, the same person Lil Meech had criticized just weeks earlier in his message to 50, where he claimed he had no respect for Ross. But that's not the only development. The father-son duo has now aligned themselves with Floyd Mayweather, one of 50 Cent's long-standing rivals. It's likely that 50 is not pleased with this new partnership. Recently, Lil Meech was seen in Miami, with both Ross and Floyd making sure 50 noticed. He shared photos with them, captioning them "Real Power," clearly referencing 50's Power series. Shortly after, Lil Meech posted another cryptic message on Instagram, this time featuring both him and Big Meech with Floyd, along with a shushing face emoji hinting at possible secret plans. Speculation is growing that Big Meech and Lil Meech may soon collaborate with Floyd in a business venture, potentially as a form of retaliation against 50 Cent.
Well, Big Meech and Lil Meech looks like they are officially partners with Floyd Mayweather. Now, they're being very tight-lipped about the venture, but my guess is it is going to be big. Floyd Mayweather is a very, very competitive person, and he will pull out all the stops in his attempt to beat 50 Cent.
It appears that Big Meech and his son are taking a risky route, and 50 Cent may not fully anticipate their next moves. Currently, no one knows for certain what Big Meech and Lil Meech are planning with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross, but speculation continues to grow. Recently, Floyd Mayweather strongly warned Charleston White, advising him to stay out of the Big Meech situation.
And I done put everybody in position. I'm with 50. While you were gone, Rick Ross didn't reach out to your son, try to put him in his position where he can make $5 million. Did nobody reach out to you? Rick Ross didn't give you no money off using your name, your likeness or whatever in that song. He didn't give you no kickback for that. If he really f***ing with you, he could have put the concert on without putting you in the mix. But they playing tit for tat.
There are also rumors that they may be developing a completely new show or movie about the Black Mafia family, entirely independent of 50 Cent's BM series on Stars. This would be a bold move. However, the situation doesn't stop there. Just weeks ago, Rick Ross announced plans to produce his own BM movie. But Ross might need to reassess his intentions before proceeding.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, it's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking.
Reports indicate that he would require 50 Cent's permission to move forward with the project. Sources close to the matter told TMZ that 50 Cent currently holds exclusive rights to the BM story for both television and film, and those rights are unlikely to change anytime soon. This gives 50 Cent considerable leverage despite the ongoing disputes. 50 Cent's G-Unit film division is already developing a project based on Tammy Cowan's life story, aiming to further expand the BM narrative. Now, many people are siding with 50 Cent criticizing Lil Meech for mismanaging his finances. Reports suggest that Lil Meech treated his BM earnings carelessly, spending them like monopoly money. Insiders claim he burned through millions on designer clothing, luxury jewelry, and high-end cars without setting anything aside for the future.
Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but you know, it's 200 just for a kilo.
So what's the pendant cost?
3 just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. This is the big boy. This is pristine, called it Antarctica. It's the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this on. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
$2 million.
Allegedly, Lil Meech exhausted all his BM earnings within a few years, frequently showcasing his expensive purchases on social media. He shared photos wearing custom chrome hearts jeans and even boasted about spending $2 million on a diamond-encrusted watch, which many considered excessive. Estimates suggest he squandered around $5 million on luxury items, vehicles, clothing, jewelry without making any sound investments. Tony Yale revealed that Lil Meech displayed a sense of entitlement, even asking artists like Lil Baby for financial help to support Big Meech. To make matters worse, Yale pointed out that while Lil Meech was seeking financial assistance, he was simultaneously spending $100,000 on designer jeans. This behavior raised serious concerns. Additionally, Lil Meech himself admitted that when he first partnered with 50 Cent, he was lost, lacked direction, and didn't fully understand what he was doing.
Still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, you know, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready.
Looks like 50 might have been the only one who tried to help him get it together.
So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow,
but
a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience.
Ultimately, everything has unraveled and the situation continues to escalate. From the beginning, 50 Cent saw potential in Lil Meech. He mentored him and personally funded his acting classes for 2 years, a significant investment. 50 didn't have to make that commitment. Hiring a professional actor would have been more cost-effective. Instead, he chose to give Lil Meech a major opportunity to start a career. Given the level of investment 50 made, one would expect Lil Meech to have been more careful not to risk everything. Instead, he seemed to believe the luxurious lifestyle would continue indefinitely, with others continuing to provide him with millions. This displays a sense of entitlement that's hard to ignore. When the dispute between 50 Cent and Big Meech first emerged, many fans initially supported Lil Meech. Some even criticized 50, accusing him of unfairly punishing Lil Meech for his father's actions. However, public opinion has started to shift. After Lil Meech's open alliance with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, fans are now reevaluating his loyalty. More people are questioning Lil Meech's decisions. The optics are not favorable, especially since just weeks ago he openly expressed his lack of respect for Ross and affirmed his loyalty to 50 Cent. Now, he appears to have reversed his position, navigating both sides carefully. Fueling the controversy are new rumors suggesting that Big Meech and Lil Meech are working with Ross and Floyd to develop a new BM film, which has frustrated many fans. Lil Meech is clearly taking significant risks, and speculation is growing about how long he can maintain this approach before facing consequences. This conflict has become one of the most prominent disputes in the industry, with no clear resolution in sight. Some believe the project may not even be viable, as Big Meech previously sold his life rights to Tammy Cowens, who partnered with 50 Cent to create the original BM series for Stars. As a result, Big Meech no longer controls the rights to his own story. Tammy now holds them. If Big Meech and his son plan to collaborate with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather to produce their own BM version, the outcome remains uncertain. Will they try to reacquire the rights? Are they planning a completely different take on the story? Or is this simply a calculated move to challenge 50 Cent following recent events? The drama shows no signs of slowing down. Now, I want your input. Was 50 Cent justified in calling Big Meech a negative influence on Lil Meech? And what's your perspective on Big Meech and his son partnering with Ross and Floyd Mayweather? Is this a smart strategy to reclaim their narrative, or could it be their biggest misstep yet? Share your thoughts in the comments. Remember to subscribe and watch the next video for more updates on this ongoing BM situation.